Hello everyone, AlzaboHD here with a brand new EU4 guide for you here today. In the following 3-part series, we will cover all of the idea groups present in Europa Universalis, and highlight which are the best for any given scenario you might find yourself in. For the first video in this series, we will cover all 6 of the administrative ideas, exploring the benefits and setbacks of each group, along with their synergies and corresponding policies that they unlock. Without further ado, let's get started with the guide. The first idea group, administrative ideas, are great if you want to expand your nation rapidly and widely, offering bonuses that decrease the cost of coring territory and increase the mercenary capabilities of your army. They are best selected as the first or second idea group if you plan to expand by conquest, and are by far the most powerful administrative idea group for world conquest-minded players. The first idea decreases mercenary cost, which can be useful, but it should be noted that it does not reduce mercenary maintenance like you might expect. The second idea, which is by far the most powerful idea in the entire group, reduces core creation cost by 25%, which is the best possible idea for players with military expansion on their mind. This idea is so powerful that the rest of the idea group can be safely ignored to save administrative power if you so choose, but in doing so, you will forfeit several other bonuses that might be worth it for your campaign. The following idea set is decent, and reduces your mercenary maintenance, which allows you to field larger mercenary armies to preserve your manpower. It should be noted, however, that this bonus only decreases the maintenance of your base mercenary infantry from 0.53 to 0.50 ducats a month, which isn't all that substantial. The rest of the idea set is mediocre, with highlights that include an additional advisor to select from so that you don't have to spend hundreds of ducats firing people to get the advisor that you need. The ambition, which provides you with 5 extra states, is great as it will allow you to avoid the rampant corruption that comes with territorial expansion. If you decide to fill out the entire idea group, you are also rewarded with a selection of powerful policies, the best of which is arguably the Vassal Integration Act. This policy is crucial for players that want to expand diplomatically and absorb their subject states, and decreases the cost of diplomatic integration by a monstrous 20%, synergizing well with the diplomatic influence idea group that also focuses on spreading your sovereignty across the world. Overall, I consider this idea group so powerful and indispensable that I often select it first for every campaign that I play, although it is much less relevant in multiplayer situations where a military idea would be better selected in its place. The second idea group we will cover in this guide is the economic set. This idea group is perfect for boosting the income for your nation and for smaller countries, with ideas that increase tax and production modifiers while also providing development reductions, crucial for playing a tall campaign. A situational idea group that is normally best selected in the middle of your campaign, economic ideas provide the player with plus 10% national tax modifier from the very beginning, providing you a reasonable boost to your monthly income. The second idea, organized construction, is garbage, and lowers the overall value of the idea group, which is unfortunate. The third idea, however, is absolutely invaluable, and is the highlight of the set, providing nations with passive inflation reduction that is fantastic for countering gold mines. Furthermore, it saves you administrative monarch power in the long run, as without it, you would be forced to manually lower your inflation with 75 monarch power constantly throughout your campaign. The next 3 ideas are largely filler and don't offer much, but the 7th and final idea provides a substantial plus 10% production efficiency bonus to supercharge your monthly income. Arguably the best part of the set is the bonus to unlocking all ideas, which provides your nation with a 20% reduction to development. This alone is worth the pick if you plan on playing tall, which is to say playing a campaign focusing on developing rather than expanding militarily. Similarly, this idea group might be worth it for players interested in campaigning outside of Europe, as a development modifier is quite useful for forcing institutions to spawn, saving your nation hundreds of monarch power in the process. One of the best policies to pursue with this strategy is agricultural cultivation, which requires quantity ideas as well as economic ideas completed, and provides a plus 10% force limit bonus along with an invaluable plus 10% development cost. Using this policy and idea group, you can reduce your development cost by a whopping 30%, which can be further reduced by terrain, universities, the burgher estate, prosperity, edicts, and developing capital areas. Overall, this idea group is useful, albeit optional, and I recommend picking it if you are having problems with gold mine-induced inflation with a nation like Killebrew, or if you're playing a campaign relying on the development mechanic. Otherwise, your administrative power would probably be better spent elsewhere. The next idea group we will cover in this guide is expansion, which provides moderate bonuses to nations interested in colonialism and trade. Expansion is best chosen in conjunction with exploration, and should only be selected by itself in cases where colonial targets are already explored, like with Southeast Asian or Native American tribes. The first and 6th idea provide your nation a colonist, giving you 2 extra colonists if you select expansion. In addition, you gain an extra merchant for the second idea, which is good but not essential, as you can get extra merchants from trade companies and colonial charters. The third idea is invaluable to expanding your colonies faster, and provides you plus 20 settlers per year. The following idea is mediocre, although the center of trade upgrade cost reduction can be situational, as the base cost is quite expensive. The rest of the idea group is rounded out by +1 diplomatic relations, which is bizarre in a colonial-flavored group, but highly valuable, and a +20% global trade power modifier that will boost your monthly income substantially. Finally, the expansion bonus is great before the Imperial CB, allowing you to fabricate claims in overseas provinces in Africa, Asia, and Oceania, and provides the same +5 state capacity that the administrative idea set bonus does. The best policy for expansion is arguably the colonial expansion policy, which provides your nation with +20 settlers per year and reduces native uprisings by a further 50%, assuming you have also filled out the exploration idea set, which synergizes well with expansion. Overall, expansion is a highly optional idea group, providing utility to nations that have already picked exploration, or for nations that already have vision on colonizable territories. I would not recommend choosing expansion in any other situation, as your monarch power would be better spent on more relevant idea groups. The next two idea groups we will cover deal directly with religion, and more specifically how to deal with the rebels that come with conquering provinces of the wrong faith, unless you plan on expanding within territory of your religious group, or if your nation already provides missionary strength or tolerance bonuses, one of these idea groups will likely be necessary. The first group we will cover is the religious group, which solves the infidel problem by converting them to your faith as fast as possible, albeit at a cost. The first idea provides your nation with an extra missionary, which can be invaluable if you have not conquered event provinces like Jerusalem or Mecca, that provide them for free. The second idea can be useful too, although there are always events and religious mechanics that can raise your stability without having to spend administrative power. The third idea is by far the most powerful in the entire idea group, and ensures that you'll be able to quickly convert nearly all provinces in the game, even territories and Muslim provinces, that normally both suffer a 2% malice. The next idea is also quite useful, and lowers unrest by 2 in all of your true faith provinces, along with minor benefits for various Christian nations. The yearly prestige idea up next can be good in certain situations, especially after you disinherit heirs, and to ensure positive prestige for personal unions, but is nothing special. The next idea, Inquisition, is fundamental, and greatly reduces the price you will have to pay when converting provinces, which are normally quite expensive and correlate with the province's development and autonomy. Perhaps the most iconic mechanic of the religious idea group is Deus Vult, which unlocks the most powerful casus belli available to most nations prior to imperialism at diplomatic technology level 23. Deus Vult can be declared on any neighboring heretic or heathen nation, giving you war score for every battle that you win, and lowering your aggressive expansion by a substantial 25% in your peace deals. This CB is perfect for niche religions, as it is unavailable to use on same religion nations, so I recommend taking it if you're crusading in infidel territory, and it is awesome for role-playing purposes. The bonus to completing religious ideas provides you with a 25% reduction in cultural conversion, which can be further stacked with the cultural unity policy that provides an additional 20% reduction if you complete influence in religious ideas. Overall, the religious idea group is a powerful yet situational idea group, and is best selected when surrounded by opposite religion nations. It should also be noted that the religious idea group provides the player with excellent in-game events that include randomly boosting your stability by 1 and converting your provinces to the true faith. Next up on our guide is a humanist idea group, which can largely be seen as the hippie half-brother of the more aggressive religious idea group we just covered. If the religious idea group is all about mass conversions and cultural genocide, then the humanist idea group can be seen as liberally tolerant, with dramatically lowered unrest offered to all provinces of the wrong religion. With recent changes that now cause the cost of religious conversions to scale with development and autonomy, humanism is almost always a better pick than the religious idea group. The ideas of humanism allow you to effectively ignore religion altogether, meaning you won't have to pay a scandalous amount of ducats to convert the capital of that infidel you just conquered. The first 3 ideas are invaluable to this strategy, and immediately raise religious unity, lower national unrest, and increase heretic tolerance, which greatly reduces the amount of rebels you will have to encounter throughout your heterogeneous nation. The next 3 ideas are also useful, albeit less powerful, and reduce ethnic separatism from 30 to 20 years in conquered provinces, allow you to promote 2 extra cultures at a cost of diplomatic mana, and increase the speed with which your diplomats improve relations. The final idea, humanist tolerance, is the signature of the idea group, and allows you to effectively tolerate all religions outside of your religious group as if they were equals, greatly lowering unrest in these provinces. Humanism's bonus can be good if rushed early on into your campaign, but is largely nothing to write home about, reducing the cost of your future ideas by a moderate 10%. In terms of policies, one of the best to pick for humanism has ironically nothing to do with tolerance at all. By combining humanist and influence idea groups, you can boost your diplomatic reputation by 1 and increase your diplomatic relations by 1, which is very powerful in conjunction with heavy vassal play. Given that influence is also a top-tier pick, you will often have both idea groups in a given campaign, making this policy as useful as it is readily available. Overall, humanism is almost always the better pick for handling religions, and I recommend picking it early on if your country is or will be religiously divided, and belongs to a religious group that is already huge, like Christian and Muslim nations. The only case where I would recommend religious ideas over humanist ideas are niche religion nations that can fully benefit from the power of Deus Vult. Despite their recent nerf, humanism is still a top-tier pick. At last, we have arrived at the innovative idea group, by far the most bizarre and underrated idea set in the administrative idea family. Largely unknown and often unpicked by the majority of players, Innovative offers an eclectic selection of bonuses that focus on reducing technology cost, boosting institution spread, and greatly boosting the efficiency of your advisors. The first two ideas in this group are largely useless, requiring an 800 moderate power investment just to reach the other bonuses later on. Prestige Decay is probably the worst bonus in the entire game, and the innovativeness gain is nothing to write home about, although it can be moderately useful to save a small amount of moderate power on each technological upgrade. If you don't have the Rule of Britannia DLC, the second idea is replaced by a 5% reduction to idea costs, which might be more useful in the early game. The third idea group, Scientific Revolution, reduces technology cost by a moderate 10%, which sounds great on paper, but doesn't save you that much moderate power over the course of the game. Dynamic Court and Optimism, the fourth and sixth idea respectively, are the best ideas in the entire set, and allows you more flexibility with selecting advisors and permits you to constantly stay at war with the incredibly useful war exhaustion reduction. The fifth and last idea are largely filler, although an extra military leader without penalty is of situational use in the late game campaign, when you need generals to fight your global wars. By far the most useful benefit in this entire idea group is actually the bonus, which reduces all advisor costs by 25% and stacks with other advisor cost reductions. This bonus is deceptively powerful, and in combination with other national ideas, traditions, policies, and traits, can allow you to hire and maintain level 5 advisors, greatly boosting your monthly monarch power generation in all categories. Innovative also unlocks some of the best events and policies in the game, highlighted by the diplomatic cooperation policy that reduces advisor cost by an additional 10% and increases your diplomatic reputation by 1. Overall, I wouldn't recommend picking the innovative group over the other more useful groups, but it does have its niche with nations that are always at war or for nations that already have the capability of lowering their advisor costs. Before concluding the video, I'd like to overview a quick recap of the idea groups we've covered in the guide and rank them according to their usefulness. These tiers correlate with the perceived value of each idea set, with higher tiers being far more useful and lower tiers being situational and avoidable in most campaigns. The top tier consists of administrative ideas, included due to their tremendous 25% core cost reduction, which is essential in most campaigns, and the humanist ideas, included because of their bonus that reduces almost all rebel problems in your nation and allows you to ignore religion altogether. The middle tier consists of religious ideas, given their strong ability to convert provinces and the amazing Deus Vult casus belli, and economic ideas, with their ability to reduce your yearly inflation automatically and dramatically boost your economy and national development. The lowest tier covers expansion, which is entirely situational and largely useless outside of colonial campaigns, and innovative, which are only useful to reduce advisor costs and lower war exhaustion automatically. Of course, these tier lists are subject to change with the development of the game and depend on what nation you play, but overall they are relatively stable across each patch and expansion. As always, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. This video was sponsored by viewers like you, and I'd like to give a special thanks to the patrons who support the channel. This guide was voted as the winner of the January Patreon poll. If you are interested in getting EU4, CK2, and a bunch of other Paradox interactive games for $6, you can check out the link in the description below and support the channel and charity. Stay tuned for more videos, and the rest of the series will continue with a comprehensive guide to diplomatic ideas later next week.